his money from him. Which, who cares? You accuse him of rape. Like, seriously?
Yeah,
So then
money's not the least. It's the
after
least
that
important.
confession, and
Yeah.
she died and everything, then Wayman was released from prison. But he'd been in prison for like his
Oh
whole
my
sentence,
God,
because it
that's
was already 12
crazy.
years. He had 15 years in prison, and he was released after 12 years because she lied on him because she was white and he was black.
And that's not the first time that's happened.
And nobody decided to do an
Right.
investigation.
It was just her word. It was just her word. It's crazy. Just her word. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, well, okay, we'll go with that then. And that was it. That was it.
Right.
12 years of his life gone. Okay.
That's really,
Next story.
that's impossible.
Yeah. It's not impossible. It's completely possible. It's just
No,
horrendous.
I know. I just mean it's just impossible, as in, how can this happen? And you know what? It still happens. That's not an unlikely story. I've heard that a few times, actually. But it's just the fact that when he was older when it happened, I think. So after you do your 15 years, no wonder he died after that. He was an older woman or man, excuse me. So it's like you took away the last bit of the good years that I had of my life. And there's no restitution with prison sentences. So
My thing is, he should have sued the entire police department, but they would just say they were doing their job,
yeah, of course.
yada yada. But if they had actually done their job and done an investigation, they would have seen that he didn't rape her. They could have interrogated her. She would have broken down.
Probably
But
so.
anyways,
Yeah.
all right. So the next one happened in 2006. So this guy named Tony Wakeford, he actually had Parkinson's disease. And because he had Parkinson's disease, I can't say that. Parkinson's
It's a
disease.
tongue twister. Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually other illnesses that come along with this, and he ended up getting like this life-threatening issue because of Parkinson's disease. So, as with the theme of this show, he thought he was going to die. So he called his wife Patricia, and he told her he was having an affair with her best friend. So
He could have took that to the grave, really.
so she was like, well, okay, well, all right, well, you're about to die anyway, so
Yeah. That affair will
whatever.
end.
All right, you're having an
Mhm.
affair, whatever, with my
Mhm.
best friend, no less. All right, well, you're about to die. But again, he lived.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh,
shit.
that's so funny.
So yeah, he lived. But, even though Patricia at first was like, I understand, I forgive you. She said all the right words because she thought he was dying. So
Exactly. The
when
truth
he
comes
lived,
out.
she was completely livid.
She's like,
So
die, die, like die.
yeah,
Yeah.
so on September 4th, 2010, she murdered the crap out of him.
Is that possible?
Yeah,
It's not just murder.
I
Murder
mean,
the crap out of him. Okay.
yeah, you could, because if you disembowel someone, you just murdered the crap out of them.
That's true.
Yeah. So she called 911, or actually, this happened in England, so she called 999. And she told
Right.
the operator that her husband had attacked her. They were having a fight, and he had attacked her, and she had to defend herself. So the police came and they found what remained of Tony,
Oh my goodness.
and they saw that he actually had multiple stab wounds on his arms, his legs, his hands, just everywhere. But the one that actually killed him,
Was the
the
oh
one,
I was thinking
where do you think
I
it
was
was?
gonna say, well, maybe one to his wee wee. Did she chop it off? I don't
No, the one that
know.
actually killed him was the stab wound to his heart. She stabbed him straight in
Oh,
the heart.
oh, like he was a vampire. Got
So
it. Hmm.
she maintained that it was in self defense. He tried to get her first, and she was just defending herself. But I mean, all evidence showed like this.
That's
This isn't
crime of
what happened. It
passion,
doesn't
though.
show any. Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't show
mhm.
anything like you were defending yourself. There were no on
Like,
you.
yeah,
There
they
were
look
no
for that
defensive wounds. There were
under
no
your
wounds on you.
nails, and they look at a
Yeah,
struggle
it
and
was just
hair
everything
samples
on
and all
him.
that. Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah.
mean,
So
yeah.
obviously, obviously, especially since you stabbed him in the heart. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it was an accident. No, that was intentional. Yes.
It was because your heart was broken, so you wanted to break his
Exactly.
heart
She
too.
wanted to break his heart too. Yeah. Plus, it
And
wouldn't. There wouldn't have been so much. There was. I mean, the stabs were intentional because you said everywhere, even his hands. So if you're in self-defense, you generally don't get as much time to do all of that. You're just trying to defend yourself enough to get that person off of you and get them maybe down or knocked out or passed out so you can run. But you're not like, oh, the hands, the knees, ankles, oh, your forehead. You're not just doing all of
yeah,
that.
right. You're not thinking about
No,
it.
like it's so intricate. You're like,
And another another big piece of evidence is the day before, their neighbor had heard her like continuously tell him all day, "I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you."
oh god, I feel like a broken record. Oh my! Did they have a parrot in the house? That would be her defense. We had a parrot in our house. That's crazy.
She
The
just
neighbors heard that,
continuously told him, "I hate you."
and
Yeah.
it just built up. It
So,
built up for the whole entire day or so. Like, and by the time she killed
but
him, it's
she
like, come on, I was ready for this.
Yeah, she was ready. She was ready.
Yeah.
But she decided to go with the self-defense. But anyways, you're not going to like the sentence she got. So she was arrested for murder, but they reduced the charge to manslaughter, and she received, are you ready for this? Only 582 days in jail.
What? Well, there's
Yes.
365 of those days in 1 year, so it's not quite 2 years. It's not quite.
But
Oh my gosh.
they only let her serve 291 days,
What do you mean they
and she
only
was
let
out.
her serve? They told her that was all
They
she had to
released
serve.
her after 291 days.
She had a really good prosecutor. Did they have a lot of money? You never mentioned that.
It didn't say whether she had a lot of money or not.
Well, I don't like it. I was just saying how these sentences are just so random and not fair. They don't match the crime whatsoever. But that was highway robbery. I mean, she can go out and say, "Heck, I'll get another husband to do the same thing." Because it does. I don't have to suffer very, very long. You can do that with eyes closed. It's just a little, vacation. That's all it was in her prison sentence.
It
Like
totally was. It wasn't
it's
even a year. Yeah,
oh god, it's crazy.
yeah. For killing him out of jealousy, stabbing him up. That's all
Oh
she
my
got.
goodness. Yeah.
So the next case, this one happened in 2008. So this woman, Janet Tesser, had been at her mother's side, and her mother was sick for a while. And just before the mother died, she confessed something. But it wasn't her who did it. She confessed something about her son. Earlier, a case had happened, and her son John was the only suspect. But the thing that got him off was, so let me tell you, let me roll back. So what happened was this woman, Maria Rudolph, disappeared in the city of Sycamore, Illinois in December of 1957. And then authorities found her body in Galena the next spring. So when they were doing an investigation, they couldn't find anything. They had no leads, but then they got this anonymous phone call, and the anonymous phone call brought them to John Tessier. But the thing that kind of derailed the investigation is because he had an airtight alibi. And that airtight alibi was that his mother said that he was at a military base, which was miles and miles away. So he couldn't, even if he drove this and this, there was no time for him to be able to commit the murder and go back to the military base and everything like that. But the funny thing is, her children, who didn't say anything, they just thought it was really weird. So the one who told the authorities, she was a baby at the time, but her older sisters always thought it was really weird that the mom said that, because they knew that that's not where their brother was. And they also knew that he was always getting in trouble, so they didn't understand why their mom was defending him. So apparently she had defended him before, many times before, when he had done something illegal or wrong. And the sisters also said he was very abusive to the family. He was abusive to everybody in the family, even to the mother. But they said the way he acted, and the just his general tone was really unstable. But for some reason, and I guess it's because she's his mother, which I don't agree with that, because I'm a sing like a bird. I'm gonna tell on you. You killed somebody, I'm gonna tell, whether you're my child or not. Well, unless you're
He
killing
did
somebody
it.
out of self defense,
Yeah.
or if it's a good reason it happened, then yeah, I'm not saying anything. But you just did it for fun. I'm totally telling on you. But anyways, yeah, they said he just seemed like really like off or whatever. But she covered for him, and they never understood why. So on her deathbed, she admitted to her youngest daughter, who was a baby at the time, that she lied. She gave an alibi for her son John, who wasn't where she said he was. But by that time, John had changed his name to Jack. He changed his name to Jack McLaughlin, and he'd moved to Seattle. And he was actually a police officer in Seattle.
Wow.
So that department received an email in 2008 that, Janet said this is what her mom said and everything like that. And so they went and found John Jack, and they arrested him, and they had a trial for him, and he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole in 2002. However, after all of this happens and the case is closed, they found evidence of a collect call that John had made the day of the murder, around the time of the murder, that placed him in a completely other town. So in 2017, he was released from jail.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So
That's terrible.
that was like
Oh
a
my
freaking
goodness.
journey.
No. I
That
know. Oh
was a
no.
journey.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So if his mom hadn't have lied for him in the first place, they would have done police work and found out that no, he wasn't even there anyway.
Hmm.
So that was
Oh,
that was that was a freaking journey. Good lord.
yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
You want one more, Shar? I got one more if you want it.
Squeeze it out. Let's go for it.
You want one more?
One more.
This
One
one is
more.
crazy. We'll end on
One
this
more.
crazy one.
One more. One more. Yeah, I mean, they're all different, and so they're all kind of, interesting and unique in their own way and sick. But yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, this one. Okay, I don't know how to say this name in English. I only know how to say it in French, so you're gonna have to work with me. You're gonna have to translate.
Okay.
Geraldine Kelly. How do you say Geraldine in English?
Geraldine. Kind of like a
No,
Geraldine,
but that's
Geraldine,
French. Geraldine.
Geraldine. Okay,
How do
well
you
then
say that
go
in
ahead.
English?
Oh, Geraldine. It's almost the same.
Oh,
We
okay.
kind of
Geraldine.
do like a ja, but it's je in French, but I think it's just a ja more so in English. So
Okay.
Geraldine, opposed to Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm trying to say it like you then.
Hmm.
Geraldine
Right.
Kelly. Yeah. So she told her neighbor, her family, her kids, everything like that, that her husband John had died in a tragic accident, traffic accident, car accident. He was coming back from California to Massachusetts, and he got in a bad car accident and he died. So this is what everybody knew. His family, her family, their kids. This is what everybody knew that happened. Well, on her deathbed, she had a doozy of a story to tell everyone. And what happened was she shot him. She shot him 14 years ago. And
You mean 14 years
and
prior when she said that
well,
he
when the
was in a car
accident, when
accident?
he said he was in an
When
accident,
she
that's
said he
when it
was in the
happened.
accident, so she kept
No,
that
no, no,
hidden
no.
for all those
Yeah,
years. Okay.
14 years
We're
before
thinking we're
before she
mourning a
died.
car accident death. Okay, got
Exactly.
it.
But
Mhm.
on her deathbed, she said she shot him.
Wow.
And after she shot him, she put his body in a freezer. Yeah. So her daughters were like, okay, mom. Maybe they thought she was hallucinating, or, I don't know. Maybe they thought she was thinking of her favorite true crime story, like, Law and Order or something like that. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
mom, whatever,
a
whatever.
little fantasy moment she was
They're
having.
dealing.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're dealing with her death, in which actually she was dying of cancer. So they were dealing with that, and you're